Good
Good,
morning.
good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Cacao Conversations with Julieta and Graciela.
I have my little cauldron cup out today. My little
I see that's
warm
very
little,
cute.
yeah, it's my little warm little cozy mug. The Facebook algorithm brought me yet another excellent ad, which I absolutely buy into. I love it all.
Um, I brought my peacock mug today. This
Nice.
is,
It reminds me of our retreat at the Peacock House.
yes, yes. Good times, good times.
Oh my goodness. Well, the world is topsy turvy today.
For sure. And even though, sending lots of prayers to everybody out on the west coast of Florida, it looks like as of right now, it looks like it's going to be a doozy. But what surprises me is like everybody's freaking out over here, and we're gonna get rain, and but I think it's just been so many weather things that people are super sensitive about it. Even though we haven't had hurricanes, we've had a couple big flood incidences here in the Fort Lauderdale area. So
Yeah, and I
everybody,
remember downtown, even downtown Fort Lauderdale, after a heavy rain, that's significant water, people having to be rescued from their houses and things like that. So, all I can say is that if you are in a position and able to, evacuate when they tell you to evacuate, do it. There's really nothing that can't be made up and fixed. And I know that's not easy, and I know there's a lots of scary things out there. But I have seen here in North Carolina with this crazy, crazy devastation, just how many people are willing to come out and help each other. Um, Social media can be such a negative force if you allow it, and it can be such a beautiful and positive thing. The TikTok world right now, with all the recovery efforts, it's really been uplifting and beautiful to see that people are willing to go help each other and things like that. And everybody's doing what they do in their, how do I say it, like area of expertise, like I don't know how to run a chainsaw. I don't have a CDL. I can't drive a big truck. I can't be a frontline person. I just don't have those skills. And I know that if I did, I'd probably just get in the way. Um, but I hope that, us doing this and us holding space for folks and us just creating a calm in the midst of everything, that's our part too. So everybody counts.
everybody does. Yes, I love that little cauldron. That's so cute.
I have another one when we get closer to Halloween, but yeah, I'm liking this one right now.
So what's our topic for today?
So it looks like, how do you create a sacred space in your home? Um, which I probably should have taken out in your home, because the truth is your sacred space can be anywhere. Um, and there's so many definitions of sacred space, right? What does that mean to you?
Um, and sacred is a word that I love to use, and sometimes I get judgmental about things. I'm like, this isn't sacred enough. But and I'm always like, you're the English professor over there. Words are always my, like, even when I'm working with emotions with clients, and it's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, what does that mean? Let's ask Google. um, but like the other word that comes to mind when we say sacred is holy, and just holding something with honor and respect, and um, those are the words that are coming to mind for me right now. How about for you?
I mean, I don't know. This is probably some sort of trauma response, but I feel like so much of what around me is sacred. Like, there are very few things that I don't care about. Like, for example, my car. I never care about my car. I've never been the type of person to keep it clean. I have bottles of water, and there's probably Cheerios from when the kids were 5. Like, I'm certain of it. However, books to me are sacred. I think I hold books in such high regard. Like, there are strict rules in my house about books don't sit on the floor. We don't crack spines. We don't lend out books. I'm very sorry. Can't just have, someone, I let somebody borrow a copy of Stephen King's It when I was 12, and I haven't gotten it back yet. And, so now we have to have rules. So those things to me are sacred, and I think that, like, even the whole immigrant mentality, it took, a lot of hours of working really hard to get XYZ thing, right? And so I'd like to protect those things, and maybe, I get it, everything is impermanent, but let's be nice to our things. So since everything in my house, I feel like connected to what makes a particular space sacred. And so that's the real interesting part for me that I was thinking about, because I have lots of little nooks and crannies in my space that are sacred. Right now, here, I'll let you guys see a little bit more. I have my singing bowls and my gong and all that stuff there. And I have a lot of my objects in there that I use as well. And so that little space is sacred. But honestly, like, that's my fireplace. That's my little reading nook. You think I can't find the meaning of meaning of life in that chair? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. So for me, I kind of feel like it's where I am, wherever I feel like I can place myself.
Well, our body is our temple. It should be our most sacred space. And so we carry the sacredness wherever we are. But I also, I do have an altar in my house. I would show you, but it's too complicated to get there from here without like jumping all over. But and so my altar is like right in front of my front door. So it's like walking in, every time I enter my home, I feel like I'm entering a sacred space. Obviously, I'm a crystal fanatic, in my house it's filled with crystals that I feel like just, it does affect the vibration. And the same thing, like my office space, I can't tell you how many people like walk in the door and they're like, the energy in here, oh my God. And so it's not just about the things that are there, but the energy of the space makes it it just feels really special. And yes, I sage and burn Palo Santo and incense and all of those things. While it by itself doesn't make it sacred, it's like when you light that and you say a prayer as you light it, and the potential to create sacredness anywhere you go is possible. So I will admit, like, when I get behind on organization and housework, like, I do feel the difference. Like, it doesn't feel as sacred in here. I need to tidy and create some. To me, it's like a form of respect and honor to keep things nice and tidy. And
yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you, I feel less sacred in the laundry room than I do, in my special little reading chair back there. But lately, and one of the things that this just has become so exciting for me is spending more time outside. It's not 500 degrees and immediately sweaty when I go outside. So having my deck, which has to get swept off every single day now because the leaves and the acorns are constantly falling. It literally sounds like I yelled up at the squirrels earlier, and I was like, is this personal? Like, are you guys aiming for me? Because it really feels like more acorns fall when I sit out there, but okay. But there is something so sacred about being out there amongst the trees. And I wish I had that connection to the ocean while I lived in South Florida. Good morning, Joy. um I really wish I had, but it wasn't my place, it wasn't my thing. And here I feel so much different, literally surrounded by woods and trees, and even all the crazy animals that I keep running across. So as I also enjoy an altar, I like having a place to put things, but I find that I create lots of little altars instead of like one big one. When I sit at my desk, I have certain objects there. When I sit at my bowls, I have certain objects there. I have the universe gifted me a I don't know if you remember a whole snake skin, like the whole entire side, the little holes for the eyeballs and everything. Right as I was getting ready to leave South Florida, and it sits right here on that little mantle above the fireplace. So I don't know, to me, I like having, I guess I need constant reminders, like stay grounded, stay sacred. This is, like, I don't know. It helps me stay calm and centered, I guess.
Yeah. And I think like it's also like tuning into sacredness and finding it wherever you are. Like, it is literally everywhere. You just have to become aware of it. And that's part of us creating our reality, is how we see the world. And they say change how you look at the world and the world will change.
It's true. I mean, I read, no, I heard George Carlin saying, I love individuals. Each individual person that I meet is absolutely magical and amazing and curious. And I love an individual. He goes, but you get like 3 people together and all of a sudden it's a group and it turns into something totally different. And I started laughing because, when you go to the grocery store, when I go to the grocery store, I'm almost like on the defensive, like, uh-oh, what's going to happen here? Again, it's probably a trauma response, but anyway, but I go through it, as particularly when I was in South Florida, and it's stressful, when there's a lot of people. But the more I ground myself and the more I walk in like this is going to be a magical experience, then all of a sudden people just look like individuals. They look like individual people that aren't trying to jam my cart so that they can get in front of me to get the last roll of toilet paper. Like all of a sudden everything is more neighborly and sweeter. So back to my poor car. It is still a sacred space, despite the fact that it is, messy.
I think for you, like, think about how many memories are in that car and how much time you spent in there with your children and the conversations that you've had in there. Like, yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like all of those big talks that you have with your kid, where do babies come from? And, my friend was mean to me and all that kind of stuff. All that happened in our car, which
I want to share a funny story since you said that.
Uh-oh.
So, I don't remember what grade it was. It was probably like 6th grade or something like this. Of course, we all know Judy Blume, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. But I can't remember the name of the book where it's like the high school kids and they're like exploring sexuality. So anyway, we were, my mom had picked a group of us, me and 3 of my friends, up from the library. And I'm sitting in the front seat and my 3 friends are sitting in the back seat. And I don't remember which one it was, but one of them says, Mrs. Wenzel, what's a blowjob?
No! Oh, your poor
My
mother.
mom was so cool. She was like, that's a very interesting question. And because of the content, I'm going to need you to ask your mom what that is, because it's not my space to tell you. But then after she had dropped off the other kids, she turns to me and she's like, so do you want to know what a blowjob is? And I'm like, yes, of course, Mom.
And then you're like,
and so she explains to me, but like,
That's
Talk
adorable.
about memories in a car. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that was like, I think that was, we had this Galaxy 500, like giant 70s car.
I love that. That is hysterical. I learned a lot about what they call magical thinking with my kids in the car. So, like they say, when kids don't know the process of something or why something is, they make it up, like your brain makes it up and plugs in the holes. So, my daughter had come up with this crazy idea of how babies are made, and she was saying, because when they asked me, I asked them, well, what do you think, right? Like, because I wanted to hear where they were at, and really what type of answer did they want, like how graphic did they really want me to get, what were they ready for. I think they were like 9 or 10. I'll never forget it. We were driving on Davie Boulevard in Davie, but anyway, I remember her answer. I don't remember the exact thing that she said, but what I do remember is that she said it with such confidence. I remember her looking over at her brother like, duh, don't you know? And then she made up something like completely insane, right? Like that something jumps from the man's body to the woman's body, like over space and time. Like it was really fantastical. But her confidence, I'm like, man, this girl is going places. So yeah, out of the mouth of babes. Talk about sacred spaces. So yeah. Anyway.
So I do want to mention, talking about sacred space, in case anybody is listening to this on 10/8 in the morning, this evening, Body and Soul Ministries is having its first men's event. We are having a men's
Tonight's the
power
night.
circle.
Oh,
And I'm super excited because we're going to open with a cacao ceremony. So I am going to serve the men cacao, and I'm going to cry a little bit because I feel like, um, so much of the stuff that we've held, some of it has been for women only, and the stuff that is open to both men and women, typically it is mostly women showing up for these events. We'll have our token man or two at the event, which I absolutely love. But when I announced that we were doing this, the enthusiasm from the men, like, wow, they do actually want this too. They do want community and support and a place to lift each other up. And so I'm excited. Like, my intention going in there with the cacao ceremony is a bit to be representative of all of us women, honoring the men that are making the choice to step into a more heart-centered space, and get to learn about their true, authentic, loving self, so that we can return to that. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, wow, I didn't know, I want to be there, this is in Fort Lauderdale, of course, you can go to our Body and Soul Events.love website and click on the events, and you will find the link to register, because I do need people to register so I know how much cacao to make. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be a very sacred moment, and excited. There's men from all different communities, like my networking community, several of the men have stepped up and are joining. And then, we have our Sweat Lodge community that are stepping up and joining, and some of my clients, and even one of the men that attended one of our cacao events at your place is showing up. So it's, I love seeing all of these men from different areas of my life, like, showing up, and they're going to create some magic.
I think that is so exciting. I absolutely love men, and I think even after, I think because I had children, I tend to see men as sons a lot. And And so I think there's so much that can be healed with just having the space to be yourself, and it doesn't mean that it has to be some, over the top woo woo event. It just means come be yourself, which, I don't, oh man, a bird just hit the window, but it's okay. But that freaked me out a little bit. But anyway, just allowing men to be full men, I think is so amazing. One of the things I love about my partner is that he's, just as strong and powerful as he is, gentle and loving, like at the same levels, and they actually say that that's the key to good parenting too. Like if you can be strict and loving at the same levels, that's the most helpful. But I am so excited for this event tonight. I wish I was there. I will be sending absolute energy and vibes the whole time. I think it's going to be so cool. And the world is ready for this man. Like, man. Ah, yeah. Super, super cool.
So prayers also that, right now the weather looks like it will be calm this evening. It's from 6 to 8. And so it looks like it's going to be calm. But just sending prayers out there to the weather gods so that this can happen tonight. And yes, we will be if the weather looks like it's a no, we will reschedule it. But I'm really holding space for this to happen tonight. I think it's going to be really beautiful. Sending a request to all the women out there listening to this, like say prayers for the men. The world that we live in today, we co-created it. A lot of times like blame likes to get placed on the men, and they didn't create this world themselves. We co-created it with them. And so if you don't like how the world is now today, and you don't like how women have been treated today, like we don't make that better by blaming the men and criticizing them and all of that. Like we make this a better place by sending them love and support and acknowledging the wonderful things that they do for us. And yeah,
I think there's a lot to be said all around, everyone treating each other with love and respect solves a lot. Solves a lot. But I can always tell it's the end of the episode when Julietta takes her official sigh. That is her I am complete sound.
It is my I am complete. And it's also the pause to see, does Graciela have anything she wants to add before we close the show?
I do not have anything else to add. Just take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you in a week.
Yay. All right. Have a magical day, everyone.
Bye.